Hello and welcome to another episode of Tony's Allotment. Over the last week we've had practically every weather system that you could think of. We've had snow, rain, hail, sun. It's just all come at once. It's been a bit hard on the plot because we haven't been able to get on with all the things we've wanted to, but what it has done is given us a chance to get the plot tidy. In today's episode we're going to do a review of the Qualcast Shredder. We're going to be looking at some blueberry plants and what you can do with your old Christmas trees if you still have them laying around. As you know, we've been cleaning up the allotment over the past week. This is an incinerator bin that I bought. It's made of galvanized steel, and we've been using it to burn some of the timbers we had because in their wisdom our council has decided now that they want to charge around about £30 a load for us to take a trailer of rubbish down there. So we've decided that we need to limit that by getting rid of all the timber. But the one good thing about it is it's allowed us to collect the ash, and with it being an incinerator bin, it's done a really good job of breaking this ash down. And we collect it into a paper bag because this ash is a really great thing to be adding to our fruit trees. So I'll take this out of here now before we start another fire. Okay. Incidentally, guys, I know a few of you have have an issue with couple of hinges there. Have an issue with knowing whether or not to allow a fire or anything like that. Just to clear it up. In the UK, you're allowed a fire. It's called a control burn, and but there's a couple of things you need to address first. Okay, firstly, you need to site the fire in a safe place. Okay, not around any trees or next to any buildings or anything like that. The next thing you need to do is check whether any of your neighbours have got any washing out or the windows are open. You can't cause them any nuisance. Okay, so you just need to be mindful of your neighbours where you're having it, and it's always a good idea to notify the local fire service and just letting them know you're having a control burn. It will stop them from tipping out a fire appliance to you, which will save you a bit of heartache, and also it'll free up that appliance so that it could go to a more deserving call. Okay, but these bins, they're worth their weight in gold. Like I say, it's a little aluminium bin, like the old dustbins that we used to have years and years and years ago, with holes in it. And you can burn everything you like in it. And the good thing is you can put a lid on it. It's got a little chimney in the lid. I'll show you that now. So it draws up the flames really well, but it contains the fire. And you can get rid of all your timbers for that. So we'll be lighting another fire in here today. To get rid of some more of the rubbish that we have here, and then we can go on from there. But hopefully we can get some more of the plot sorted, as far as the mess and things goes here. Nothing quite like a little fire on the plot. As you can see, I had some longer timbers, and they wouldn't fit inside the barrel, so we've taken the lid off. It's not a problem because, like I said, it's controlled. It's not going anywhere. This timber is so wet that it's taking ages for it to actually catch new timbers that I put in there. So I have to keep adding them, and I can't do that with a lid on. So we've taken the lid off, but it's nice that it's 1 degree up here at the moment. It's absolutely freezing, and it's nice to have that little bit of heat if we need it. But we're getting through the rubbish slowly. The rest of it will have to go to the tip in the car, because Caerphilly Council, in their wisdom, has decided that they need to cut costs yet again. So what they've done is they've put our council tax up, and they've stopped us going into the amenities with a little trailer on the back. So if you've got a brand new car now and you don't want to put rubbish in the back of it, it's tough. You can go and get a permit from them, but you've got to take in so many forms of ID. You've got to visit them at a specific time and what have you. So it's not very convenient. You can get a permit for the trailer, but they'll allow you 6 permits a year. So if you're in a tiny trailer that'll hold like 5 or 6 bags, then you're absolutely stuffed, because that, they won't collect bags from outside the house any longer. If it's not in your bin, they don't take it. And we've got loads and loads of stuff that we need to get rid of here. We used to have an agreement with them where we could take the rubbish from the allotment down there, but they've pulled that as well. So thanks very much, Caerphilly Council. You really know what to do to earn the grand or so a year you're taking off us for council tax. So thanks for that. I was speaking to you about yesterday. We did a load of videoing, and probably around about 4 hours worth, and during that time we shredded up this is old Christmas trees. We had 3 of them dumped down on the bottom of the plots. Now we did video shredding this because we even though in this video we're doing a bit of a review of the Qualcast Shredder, we actually shredded these with it and did a review yesterday. But when I got home to edit the video, the SD card had gone corrupt, and I tried some recovery software and what have you, but nothing was recognizing it, so it's totally gone. We've had to buy a new one this morning. But as you can see, it's shredded up relatively well. It's not really small, but it'd be alright for compost and things like that. But the reason we've put it on this bed is obviously our blueberry bed, and this is what I want to talk to you about with regards to utilising those Christmas trees. If you've still got yours in the garden or waiting to be collected from the council or whatever the case being, turn it into a mulch. It'll be great, because this is spruce. It's very good at keeping the pH levels down in the soil. As you know, when we planted these blueberry bushes last year, we put in a couple of bags of Ericaceous compost, and we put normal pine bark chip over them. But these Christmas trees, the pH these will have will really help to keep that pH down in the soil. The blueberries will thank you for it. We have got a new blueberry plant for here. It came from Marshall's. It's a little small. We're going to plant that in a moment. It's a little small. I'm a little bit disappointed on the size, considering I paid nearly £16 for it. But it's in good condition. I don't know what the root structure's like on it. We'll have a look in a moment. But so that's going in this 4th place. The mulch is going to do twofold. Like I said, it's going to keep the pH down, but it's also going to stop weeds and things like that from germinating, and it's going to keep a little bit of heat in the ground. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to clear a spot aside because we don't want to dig this into the ground. Okay, so we're going to remove a load of this back. There we are. Pull it right back. And then we're going to dig a hole in there and put in the new blueberry bush. Okay guys, so this is the new blueberry plant. It came in the post today and it came from marshalls.co.uk. Like I said, it's a little small, but it is a first year plant, so I can't really moan. But we'll just take, yeah, it's very small considering the price I paid for it. It's called Blueberry Blue Pearl, and the reason we had this one was because we don't have another Blue Pearl blueberry, so it will help with the pollination. As you know, you've got to have 2 different blueberries in order for them to pollinate. So we're going to get this one in the ground now, and all we need to do is dig a hole for that. Okay, so we just need to dig a hole. Try not to get, the ground's already been quite easy to work because of all the Ericaceous we put in it last year. We're going to put a bit more Ericaceous compost in the bottom here, just to give it something to help it along. We just got to ease it out of this pot. Yeah, see, it's got a decent root system, so I can't moan about it too much, and we just need to backfill it. Here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put our Christmas stuff all back around it, all our Christmas trees. We'll take that out for the moment. I don't think it needs it. There we go guys, it's as simple as that. So there's our Christmas tree plant, our blueberry planted, and we've covered it over with all the old Christmas trees, which should help with the pH as this breaks down and what have you. So this horse manure guys is going to end up going on the beds. It's really well broken down now, and there's tons of worms there. So we're going to get some of that onto the polytunnel beds, and whatever's left will go on the beds ready for coming up to sort of like April, May time now, when we start getting things out in the ground. During the cleanup, we've managed to get rid of all the pelly mix bags and everything else from in front of the polytunnel. Now what we're going to do here, I've changed my mind as far as the bed goes to separate the birds section or the wildlife section. We're going to put our coal frames along here now. So we're going to run a coal frame along here, and the same the other side of the door, right away to the end of that barrel. It'll hide some of the barrel, but it makes more sense to bring stuff out of the polytunnel here and put them straight into coal frames, and it'll take up that area there. So that's what we're going to do here. So that's the next upcoming project guys. Okay, the section that we were going to have the coal frames was here, and the reason for that, as you've seen in many of our other episodes, we wanted a section off the wildlife section, and have a path going up the end there, and just be all for wildlife. What we're going to do instead, in some of our earlier episodes last year, we took some cuttings of some black currant, some red currant and things from my granddad's bushes at his home, and some of the red currant bushes we have here, and they've all struck, and I'm going to show you some of those in a moment. So what I've decided to do, we're going to build another bed along here, and we're going to put 4 black currant bushes in here. The reason for that, it will still give us the space off. It'll keep all the fruit in one sort of Z sort of pattern, and we haven't got any black currants on the plot, so it just makes sense to have that here and have the coal frames around the front of the polytunnel. I never thought of it before because there wasn't as much space as there is now, and it just makes sense to bring them coal frames out, bring things out of the polytunnel and put them straight into coal frames. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to build a bed here. So all of these are the blueberries, the black currant and red currants that we took in the earlier videos last year, they were softwood cuttings, and all we did was we took this tray here, okay, a little basket, wire basket, we filled it with compost, and we just stuck the cuttings in, and they've all taken. And the only difference between these big huge black ones here and these ones, where these went pushed straight into the ground next to the blueberries, if you see in the earlier episodes, they were pushed in the ground next to the blueberries, and this is what they've grown to, and they're all budding and everything else. Give you some sort of idea of the root structure on one of these. So as you can see, it's a really good root structure on them, okay, and this is going to make these fly off. Now this is a red currant, I believe. Let me just check. Sorry, this one is a black currant. Okay, so it's got a really good root structure. I'll plant him back up in a moment, and he'll fly off now this coming spring. So we're going to take the 4 biggest black currant, which will be this one here, this one here, and this one here, and they're going to get out. Now I very seriously doubt we'll have any fruit off them this year because they're a bit small, and black and red currants only fruit on the last year's growth, okay? So when you're pruning black and red currants, or white currants for that matter, what you should do is take out 1/3 of the old wood. So try to get a goblet shape when you're growing, because that will stop the sawfly from laying its eggs, because if you've got lots of new foliage in the middle of the goblet, then sawflies will lay its eggs and it'll decimate the plant. So what you need to do is clear out the center of the plant the best you can, and then when you go to prune, take away 1/3 of the growth of the old growth and leave 2/3. New growth will come up in its place. Next year you take the second third away, and the third year you take the third year. So if effectively you replace the plant every 3 years of all the old wood. We've got to get on with some planting. We've got some seeds and stuff we need to plant and what have you. But again, that's something that we need to do in another episode. So this is the review of the Qualcast shredder. Like I said, I did try to do this shredder yesterday. Unfortunately, it went corrupt. Okay, if you need to know the model number of this shredder, it is, I don't know if you can make it out through there, bear me, SDS2810. Okay, now I've got some very large brassica roots here. After the chickens have pecked them, everything they want off it off, I'm going to try and put them through. You saw how we handled the Christmas tree, but these are a different matter because they're very large. May have to split them down because I don't know if they'll go in. But anyway, let's have a look. Right, there's a fair bit of wind here. I got the generator running. I'm going to have the machine running, so I'm not sure you're going to be able to hear everything that I'm saying. But I'll do my best for you guys. Okay, important things, cup of tea. Makes a very dull day like this on the plot bearable, okay guys? So make sure you got your tea available. Right, put that down. Okay, this thing has a few safety features, and the first one is it's got a pull-out tray on the bottom. Okay, what on the back of it, it has, let me see if I can get it out. It has this little locking system. Okay, the actual shredder, it's a safety device, and the shredder won't work unless that's put in properly. Okay, the shredder is at the moment sunk into the soil, so bear me one moment. There we go. Right, make sure that's all the way fully engaged. Okay, and there's a little on off sign there to tell you when it's actually engaged fully. Okay, so unfortunately you missed out on yesterday's shredding video, but today we'll see if we can do it. On the side here we have an adjustment knob. Okay, what this does, there's a plate inside, and this is an impact shredder, so it has like a drum type blade, and all this does is pushes the plate closer to the blade so you get a smaller shred. Okay, big on off switch here, and it also got a reverse button as well, and if anything jams we can just shove it through, or we can click it on reverse. So we're going to put through these things, and like I said, they are quite, you know, quite strong. Now I'm not sure if you're going to hear me with this going on and the generator, but if you can, great. Okay, so we just need to switch the on button. So that's it running now. The generator is struggling, but we'll try it. Let's see how it goes. It's got a self feeder on it, so it'll pull the thread through. You know, that's a fair old size there. It's handling that really well. Now I'm not sure how small it's going to make this stuff, but it's got to be, this one's going to be a bit big to fit in the hole, so we need to break him down. But it's got to be smaller than putting it in like this, like I have been. We're still going to build the shredder like I said last year, but this is just a stopgap measure so that we can get things shredding now. So some of them we may have to split down a little bit. This machine will take up to 45 millimeters. And it seems to be handling it really well. You know, considering what we're putting through it. Just clearing off the... just going to reverse in a second. I think the root system got stuck in it then. There we go. And it was as easy as that to clear. Now, yesterday we didn't have a jam on it at all, but there's a lot of root in this, and it's going through. So I'm just assuming it was because of the root. Like, that's hardly going through, but we'll see what we can do with it. I think this one is at its max, to be honest with you guys. It doesn't want to go through that route, so we'll leave that and we'll split him down. But all in all, I'm quite happy with it. Now, this particular one came from Argos. It was £150. Because I was getting going to be building a shredder, I didn't want to be paying out huge monies for like the Bosch. Okay, so just going to switch that on the reverse now, just to clear it again. Oh, that split quite well. Okay, let me just turn that generator off, guys. So let's have a look at it now. This isn't the smallest of sizes I've seen, but I don't think that would take that long to break down, to be honest with you. So it's alright for the compost, do you know what I mean? It is quite woody stuff, but that's just going to go in the compost now.